tools just to stay alive and make it out when the sun is ruined. That's the same way you showed me. You showed me love. Glory from above. Regard me, dear. It's all downhill from here. Real life, remember how I was. I'm G, Michael Jackson, all this shit. Say what up to Reggie, the shoe. Say what up to Benny. Say what up to life.
What's up, lovers and friends? I'm your host, Troy Ryan, and this is Love Journey. My journey into healing, relearning, and defining love for myself. Welcome to the season finale of season 1. Y'all, it's been a long journey. It is so wild because this time last year, this wasn't even an idea. And yet when it came to me, it just made all the fucking sense in the world. You know, I knew I had some things with love that I needed to work on. I knew I liked talking. Like, all my teachers used to tell my mom I have the gift of gab. Like, she can tell you. Every single fucking teacher I've ever had said I talk too much. And it's funny because while I do have the capacity to fucking run my mouth, I'm also really quiet and reserved at times. So you just gotta catch me. But either way, gift of gab is totally real. And I know I wanted to work on all of these things in more artistic ways. In ways to kind of get myself out there. So it all just encompassed all those things. So here we are, you know. The love and support has been so dope so far. You know, I'm sitting at 700 listens after one season, and I just feel like I'm on a really good track, you know. Today, I wanted to end the season with another solo episode. You know, it felt only right, and I wanted to show that I've healed, that I've learned, that I'm defining love. You know, literally why I do this. I need to prove it, you know? And I won't say healed. I'll say healing. Because there's some things I'm healed, some things I'm still struggling with, but I'm human. So, you know, that's the point. That's the journey. Right? But first, I want to go ahead and share a few clips and moments from some of my favorite episodes from the season. Some that were either, you know, shared on Instagram or, you know, socials, or some that were unshared completely, either due to editing or whatever the case. So let's go ahead and get into it. First is a clip from episode 1 with my very best friend, Jessica. Check it out. Have you ever lost yourself in love?
I can say I've lost myself, or lost the part of who I was, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say, like, I blame it on quarantine, but I mean, it definitely was a part of me stopping modeling too. But just because I was in a relationship, and I think my focus was turned onto my relationship and building that. So right. The energy from that went there. But then also, I found something new. I found something new of myself. I found a new me. So with like becoming a businesswoman and running Majestic, you know what I mean? Like, so I won't ever really say I lost myself, but I just found a new version of who I am.
So then I guess that, because I didn't think about that before, it's just a matter of the person per se. If it's the right person, then you find something in yourself, but if it's the wrong person, right, then you would lose yourself. Definitely fire advice in that one. Next is a clip from episode 3 from my brother homie Kendall. And it's something I've always struggled with, like, because I think whenever I'm dating someone or whenever I like someone, I immediately make them, like, my brain, the hopeless romantic in me just immediately is, oh, that's it, they're the one. Like, I've had so many the ones that I'm like, okay, wait, how do you actually know? You know what I'm saying? So I guess that's my first question for you is, when did you know?
So, I knew the moment that she was first. So if something bad happened or if I needed help or advice, it wouldn't be, I need to call my mom. It would be, I need to call Gina. If something good happened, or if I was super happy or excited about something, I didn't call my dad about it. I called Gina.
Yeah.
And the moment that happened, I knew that there was no one else, because I've never felt like that about anyone else. My mom or dad was always first, no matter who else was present.
So it was like basically, I mean, just kind of the first person that you want to share everything with. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was just like that.
She's the first person I want to know first.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, I still share with my family and my friends, but I don't pick up the phone and call my mom first. I don't pick up the phone.
So the first thought is her.
The first, her.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, see, shit like that, you know, and that's a good one. That was a tough episode. I remember doing it, and yeah, the very first one I think that I was the most vulnerable with. And that was episode 3. So yeah, it's been a vulnerable journey. This next one is from a fellow Detroit artist, Mr. Paris Carey. Check it out. And it kind of actually leads into the second question on like how do you deal with rejection? And I just want to say real quick before you answer, just like, you know, like I said, it's like I think accepting preference first. It's like, oh, he just might not prefer me, and there's nothing wrong with me. I'm just not his condiment.
That's how I face it. I just accept it, and I know that preference is a thing. Just like you said, people have their preferences. They have, you know, an idea of what they would expect someone to be like, and then when they're met with that, it can be either completely different from what you expected, or it can be like intimidating, like, okay, this is a little bit more than what I expected. I like it, but it's too much for me. You know what I mean? So it's like how people like chocolate ice cream, some people don't. It's just like, bro, like, you have your preference. I guess I'm
not your vanilla ice cream. That's
I'm
okay.
not your vanilla ice cream.
That's all right.
Cool. Like,
yeah.
Like, you just gotta, like, it's just about understanding. People really do have their own preferences, and sometimes it could just be about building a fantasy around what people would expect you to be, and then having that realization, like, this is not it. But it's not always a bad thing. It's not always a bad thing. Of course, it's gonna hurt. And I think feel some way.
Yeah. Okay, and this next one is a special episode. I got my mom to come do the show with me, so this is a clip from that episode. Check it out. Would you have any advice for somebody who, not necessarily, I guess, yeah, I mean, because I just don't want to use the word interfere. It mentally makes me think of negative, but just anybody who might want to provide an opinion or advice towards someone who's in a relationship who may see something that the person doesn't see, who doesn't want it to come off negative.
And so I think it's twofold, right? So you have people like me, take it from me, I'm a mother. So mother having sons, if I see something, I don't tend to care how you guys feel, because my whole thought process is saying protect your children.
Right.
Because we don't want to see, but then if you look at it from a friend's perspective or something, I would say my advice would be let that friend ask you for, because people have to bump their heads. I'm learning more and more the older I get. Sometimes people have to fail. Now, if it looks real serious, or like, let's just say you knew somebody was a murderer, they murdered the last 3 wives, or and now you're in a relationship and they just so happen to get out of jail and now you're with them, I might pull your shoulder, you know, come here, me and you need to take a walk and let me tell you about them, and now that's your decision.
Yeah. All right, so this last one is from last week's episode, the very first panel for Love Journal. Mr. Nick the Poet, do you think that you should match love languages, or can they be opposite?
I don't think that you should. I don't think that you should match. Like, you don't have to. If it happens, cool. But me and my fiance, we definitely don't match. His is physical touch. And I didn't grow up with a whole bunch of affection, so I had to learn that. Yeah. And it took a while for me to really learn. Like,
you were like religious too, right? Like,
yeah. It just wasn't a whole bunch of that going on. Like, even between my parents, like, they've been married for all my life, so like 30-some odd years, but you didn't rarely see them kiss or anything like that either. So I just didn't grow up seeing that for real.
See, and that's okay. So I guess like maybe it derives from my childhood because with my parents, they were always very lovey-dovey.
Mine too.
Like in the household, they were always. My dad would come home and like they would kiss before my dad left and hug. Like I would just see them. You know what I'm saying? Like showing love in that form. Yeah. And it was also acts of service. So I guess that is one of mine too. That's where me and Darian can connect because we both like to like show that we love you. So it's like cooking for you and making your plate and like doing all of that stuff. Or even like the people I love in general. Not Darian, and I love to like host when people come over. I love to, what I'm saying, make a nice spread for my friends and stuff like that. And that's how my family was. My parents were. So I guess I guess you get it from your parents in some form.
I just want to say, y'all, I was trying to plan that panel for so long. I'm so glad it worked out. Like I envisioned it being the episode before the season. I originally envisioned it being the season finale, but it just made more sense to do a solo season finale and have that be the episode before. And just totally worked out. But like I said at the start of the episodes, I want to basically do a season review. Some of these talks have really helped me and shown me the areas where I need to grow and where I've grown when it comes to love. One of the biggest lessons I learned is to stand up for myself and not compromise or lose myself. Stand my ground, express myself, and it doesn't have to turn into an argument or a war. If the person I'm expressing myself to or opposing, quote unquote, is the right person, they won't let it lead to that. Arguments happen, disagreements happen. We're human. But with the love, we have to remember we're not at war with each other. And I can't be so afraid of war that I deal with anything in retrospect, Another thing I've learned is that in love, we have to seek our patterns. This is a pattern to, the partners we pick, the pattern to our behaviors. You know what I'm saying? We're responsible for that. And once we're able to see those patterns and notice what we go for or how we act or, whatever the case is, we can see triggers and all these things. Then we're able to change them and work on them, recognize it and shift it for the better. I've learned that you don't have to believe in the same things exactly, but you do have to have things in common. And when some beliefs border on being a good person or just complete opposition, you need to pay attention to behavior. How does this person treat others? How do they treat their family? Is this ignorance from a lack of knowledge or is this genuine hate? Because you can't love someone who has hate in their heart if you don't. In the end, I think we all want to be loved. And sometimes we want to be loved so much that we accept the bare minimum or even settle for being second place or third or, whatever the case is. And that's why we have to check in with ourselves, study ourselves and our patterns and heal. Heal so that we no longer accept less than treatment. Heal so that we learn how to demand to be first. And not in a selfish way, because ultimately, God and yourself first. But I just mean, you know what I mean. I don't think that was one that I needed to fully really go into, but I think you understand what it means. But ultimately heal so that we treat ourselves better and learn to demand that treatment from others. Ultimately, I think love is acceptance, it's patience, it's union, it's certainty, it's learning, healing. Love is allowing people to be who they are. It can be hard at times, but worth it. You just have to decide what's worth it for you and then be honest. All right, so I want to go ahead and do something I haven't done in a while. I want to leave you guys with a quote, a movie, and a poem today. The quote is one that I saw recently that just clicked something in my mind. And I've always struggled with the insecurity of not being good enough for someone, and that there was always someone better, you know? And it caused me to be passive in love, to hold back. Oftentimes, I have been in situations where someone has blatantly chose someone over me and still got all of me. It's like in the past, I took rejection or indecision as a challenge that I had to prove I was worthy of being loved by the person. And the quote said, indecision means that they feel they can find better. And I'm worth someone deciding on me. I never believed it. I've struggled with that. But I believe it. I believe it. I believe it. I've come across indecision and rejection so much. And sometimes you can internalize it and make it all about yourself. Like I think for me, I just convinced myself that it was kind of pointless to really try with love, because it was like, I mean, eventually you're going to want somebody else anyway. So I just been focusing on myself. But I'm worth someone deciding on me. That is fucking powerful, right? Need a little second after that. Yeah, so next I want to leave you guys with a movie. And I want to get real sappy with the shit today because it's a season finale and it's all about fucking love, and I love love, goddammit. So, The Notebook. My other Hopeless Romantics out there, you probably already seen it. If you've never seen it, probably give it a watch. It's the quintessential love movie. Like, the chemistry, the story. I don't want to give too much of it away, but that's the kind of love I want, right? I realized that recently. Like, I don't want just the humdrum story. Oh, message me on Tinder. Oh, like, I don't know. I want an epic love story. I want something that we can tell our grandkids. I mean, if we have them, our grandnephews and nieces or whoever the fuck, or write a fucking book about it and inspire the world. A love that really, when other people see it, they want to love because they're so inspired by how we love. That's what I want. And I think this movie encapsulates that perfectly. The struggle, the initial chase, and the final, acceptance. It reminds me spiritually of the idea of a twin flame as well. There's a soulmate and then there's a twin flame. And essentially this situation is similar, but with the twin flame, I think it's fire, right? It's passion. And the theory is that there's always a runner and a chaser until the one running accepts what is. So it's like one person that is usually more spiritually inclined and they can see the relationship for what it is, and another person who's less spiritually inclined and running from what the situation is. And that is another thing that is encapsulated in this film perfectly too. So I just think with everything that I've talked about, everything that I have gone through, everything that I'm working on, I'm worthy of a fucking epic ass love story, right? I think we all are. All right, so I want to go ahead and leave you guys with a poem. I'm reading Dreaming of Love from my poetry book, The Boy Who Lucid Dreamed. Here it is. I hate to say this out loud. Every time I start to, I feel it's not allowed, but you got something I can't put my finger on. I wish that it was nothing. I don't want to sing a song, but I am. No problem gripping the microphone. And if no one stops me, I'll just go on and on. I don't want to, but I love you. And I can't help that I do. Even though I don't want to, I crave you. I can't help that I do. I'm just sitting here dreaming of loving you. Dreaming of loving you every single night. Thinking of what it'd be like, me curled under you while you cuddle me too. I just wish I knew what it was like. Because I've been dreaming of love every single night. Right, so yes, that was Dreaming of Love from The Boy Who Lucid Dreamed. Thanks so much for listening, guys. Thanks for listening throughout the season. Like, you know, I'm at 700 listens, and I didn't imagine it would pick up that way. You know, I've done like 5 or 6 podcast guest spots. I've had, you know, I don't know, 15 guests or so. Like, it's just, it's amazing. It's amazing, and it's only gonna get better. It's only gonna grow. So thank you guys so much again. Don't forget to follow the official Instagram page for the pod, love_journal podcast. That's on Instagram again. I will have updates as they come through. I'm not going to be gone too long before season 2, but it's definitely going to at least be a couple of weeks. So definitely follow the page for any updates. If you guys have any topics that we didn't discuss or topics that we did discuss that you want discussed more in depth, email me at trigger504@icloud.com. And until next time, guys, love. Peace.
From here, real life. Remember how I was. I'm G, Michael Jackson.